What's up, guys? So today we're gonna make something that utilizes everything you have basically in-house. So it's called Spaghetti Al Tonno, spaghetti with tuna. All right, so a jalapeno, you could easily use chili flakes, 2 cloves of garlic, a can or a packet of tuna. I prefer in oil, we couldn't find that. This is what we have laying around the house. Some sort of cured meats. We're using pancetta for this one. A little stick of cinnamon, you'll see later. Some spaghetti, of course, salt, tomato sauce, very high quality extra virgin olive oil, and then 2 nuts. So I'm using pine nuts and pistachios. You could easily use pine nuts and almonds and walnuts. I just really like this combination. They're both very fatty. And then we finish the entire thing off with some basil. All right, so I don't like throwing in jalapenos with seeds. So what we're actually gonna do is we're gonna take this guy right here. We're gonna take 2 sides of it and we're gonna throw this off to the side. You can utilize that for something else later on. And I'm just looking for the flavor of the jalapeno. I'm not looking for the heat. There's gonna be plenty of other flavors going on in there. This dish does not need to be spicy. If you want it to be spicy and you wanna leave some seeds in there, go ahead. So we're gonna take this guy, we're gonna do a julienne, and then we're gonna brunoise. Brunoise is small little cubes. So we're gonna turn them sideways and cut them into small little cubes. Just like that. All right, we're gonna set that aside. So now, with the garlic, I don't slice the garlic for this dish. We were talking about this a long time ago, but biggest misconception in Italian cuisine is actually a lot of garlic in dishes. We're gonna throw these in whole and then remove them afterwards, all right? Next step is we're gonna take some of this big diced up pancetta here, and we're just gonna cut it a little bit smaller. We kind of want it to be a little bit smaller so that it doesn't stick out in the dish. We just want it to be an addition to it, not to be the star of the show. Now, we're actually ready to start. First thing you do always, season your pasta water. We already have a little bit of salt in there. I just added a little bit more. We're gonna wait for that to come up to a boil. First thing, obviously turn your heat up to high. All right, first thing we're gonna do is we're actually gonna render down this pancetta. Okay, so rendering means cooking the fat out of it because you want those crispy bits of pancetta in there. We just don't want all that fat in there, but we do want the flavor from there. So to help it out a little bit, we're actually gonna hit it with a good amount of some high quality extra virgin olive oil. We obviously have these beautiful tweezers we can use to help this along. If you have a spoon, that actually works as well. But we're gonna render this down, and then after it's rendered, we're gonna take out all of the nice bits and pieces of pancetta that are in there. All right, perfect time to lower the heat a little bit because now it's starting to render down so that it doesn't get brown on one side and not brown on the other. You can start seeing all these nice little brown bits in here. That's all flavor right there. We're gonna utilize that in this dish. A little bit longer. Once a pancetta is nice and brown just like that, you're gonna scoop it all to one side, utilizing your slotted spoon, and you're gonna take it out. All right, we just want that fat. We're gonna add this in later, all right? Now, in here goes your 2 cloves of garlic and your piece of cinnamon stick, okay? Cinnamon stick, this dish is Sicilian. They use a lot of cinnamon in Sicily. It's one of those things that's not really ever spoken about, but it adds a really cool flavor to this dish. So we're gonna brown up this garlic a little bit, and we're gonna leave the cinnamon in there the entire time. You can see one side of the garlic's already getting nice and brown and toasted. We're gonna let that go for another second. So now we take the garlic out. It's nice and brown. You can utilize this on anything later on. You can puree this, you can spread this on toast, make some garlic bread, whatever you want, but we don't need it for this dish. Now, the most important part of this dish is toasting off these nuts, all right? These are raw. We're doing a good amount in here because it needs it. So we're gonna utilize that oil that's in there and we're gonna toast off these nuts. So imagine how good that oil must taste right now. While that's toasting, right? We're gonna go in with our jalapeno because we wanna add some spice to this now. Just like that, and 2 leaves of basil, all right? Now this oil smells delicious right now. All right, a few tosses just like that. And we're getting there on color on those nuts, so we're almost there. About another 10 seconds. A few tosses, just like that. And those are beautifully toasted. All right. Now, pull out your cinnamon because that's all the flavors already in there. You don't need that anymore. Now we're gonna add our pancetta back in. And we're gonna do a small amount of tomato sauce, or pomodoro like I like to call. And with that, you're gonna do a small little ladle of pasta water, all right? And then turn down your heat to very, very low. In goes your tuna. 1 packet of tuna. Just throw it in just like that. I know it sounds weird, but it's absolutely delicious with all those flavors going on. All right, now with everything that we put in there, we put salty pasta water, pancetta salty. We're gonna give it a taste to see where we need to season now, okay? All right, instead of going, we're gonna hit it a little more pomo because it needs a touch more. And we're gonna do 1 nice heaping spoonful of pasta water this time, all right? And the last finishing touch on this guy, small little nub of butter. It's not really a Sicilian thing, but it's gonna make this sauce nice and creamy. It's exactly how we want it to look and taste. Check this guy for flavor again. A little bit of salt. Just like that. Now, as that's cooking and our pasta water is boiling, we're gonna drop our pasta in, all right? So this is freshly made pasta, so it's not gonna take long at all. And we actually wanna leave it a little bit more on the raw side because we want all of that starch from that pasta to help thicken this sauce. Almost there. God, that looks good. It's like I know what I'm doing, huh? All right, we're gonna check that pasta again. This needs about another 10, 15 seconds, and we're gonna keep all that, see all that starchy water? That's what's gonna help thicken that sauce. To finish this pasta, we're gonna take that pasta and that water, go right into the sauce, take the spaghetti out. A little bit more salt. Good amount of torn basil in here. Just like that. A couple of tosses. Ooh, that cinnamon smells really good. Almost. All right, now to finish this, turn off your heat. The most important part of this is it's a good amount of olive oil, okay? So as you're tossing, you're adding a good amount of olive oil. This helps make the pasta very shiny, but also adds an earthiness to the dish. Because it seems like it's a touch thick, I'm gonna add a small amount of pasta water to this, just like that. And now we're gonna finish this. Nice and creamy, just like that. Then get your tweezers in there. Nice little twirl. That goes down. And then your spoon with all that sauce. And then to finish, we do a good amount of olive oil again. And a little bit of torn pieces of basil right on top, just like that. You could easily use chopped parsley, you could use mint. I really like the way it tastes with the basil on it. And that's it, guys. Spaghetti Al Tonno. Perfect dish for when you're just trying to get rid of some stuff in the cupboard.